I nearly made an error there. If anybody noticed that I was playing the intro twice. Well, hello, everybody. We are back with another week's Champ Chat where we are going to go over the matches of the weekend in the Championship and other Championship relevant topics. We will try not to focus too much on Wrexham and Birmingham, our own teams, and we will go around the other teams for a bit of fun. So welcome everybody in the chat. Thank you for coming again. John, how are you doing?
Oh, very good, mate. Bank holiday weekend, so can't complain.
Okay, good for you. Good for you. I just wish I actually worked a bit more, that I cared about having a day off. I have too many days off. But sure, maybe that'll change shortly. Anyway, I'm better. Not
Good.
totally better, but good enough, let's say. Good enough. Looking a little bit red around the face, but at least I'm not coughing down the microphone. So that's a good start. So, quick hello. We have Nick, Jeff, Bruce, Elizabeth, Ted, Habsification, Reliable Express, Hip Karma, See a lot of Bravos, Marie from SoCal. Saw your message earlier saying hello. Thank you for that. Logan, welcome. Logan, Robert SKO. Are you a Wrexham fan? Are you a Championship team fan? Let us know in the chat. Don't recognize your name, but you're welcome here to join us this evening. So hello to everybody. I will just briefly say, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, do all that sort of good stuff because we never say it and I always forget. And to be honest, I don't really care. Subscribers are growing, so people are obviously hitting the button whether I say it or not. We are now at 2.7 thousand, which is fantastic growth. We will hit 3,000 soon enough. So do send us around if you think anybody would enjoy the content. So first up today, we decided we're going to move on to slightly different topic from last week. Last week, we devoted the whole show pretty much to the weekend's matches. Today, we're going to do a little bit of transfer information. We're going to go back over what has happened briefly with the other teams in preparation for this week because, as we all know or should know, the transfer window is closing next week. So tomorrow plus a week officially. 7 o'clock they changed it to because apparently the poor office staff shouldn't have to stay till midnight for one day in the year. Are you kidding me? Come on. People in the real world do actually work to midnight and past midnight and do night shifts. And most of these people are very well paid as well. They can stay up till midnight. Midnight was always fun, or 11 o'clock and then paperwork and whatever. So I'm disappointed. I don't like the 7 o'clock, but we'll see if it makes things more entertaining this year. What do you think? Yay or nay on the early transfer close?
I think I'm not too keen on deadline day in itself anyway. I think Sky have ruined it in that regard. But I do prefer the later one. It does add to the sort of, the build up and the pressure and, the excitement, doesn't it? And especially when somebody's fax machine doesn't work at, 11:50 p.m. and everyone starts to panic. So yes, football clubs still probably use fax machines. That's the sad truth about it.
Well, sure, printers are fax machines, and this year and last year we had HP. So we have a good sponsor. I'm sure our fax machine is working after we decided to screw it up the year before. But less said about pictures of moons and is everybody still awake? And then you screw up the signing and the paperwork and everybody gets annoyed. But anyway, that's past tense. I'm sure we're going to have loads of new signings this week. But with that being said, let's have a look at how many signings have happened with all the teams in the Championship so far. Some surprises, even myself, because I haven't been paying attention. Let's have a quick look. So, straight away we can see top of the table there with 12 signings is Birmingham City. No surprises there. Big surprise is Hull is now on 12 transfers. They have had loads recently. Most of them are free transfers and probably not worth a dog shit. Wait till Hull is higher up the league than us this year. Now, after I said that, but that's that. Who else? Preston North End have 11. Again, maybe another weaker team. Might have a quick look at them to see who they actually signed. Norwich, spending decent money and getting in some players on 11. Then ourselves on 10, and we're not done yet. I expect at least one more in this week, preferably maybe 2. So we'll see on that. Derby have spent 10, and after that it goes down. Our old pals Charlton Athletic on 9. So they have been doing business, not spending as much as us, but they have got some good transfers in. We've spoken about that. And then a mixture around the houses. On the low end, some interesting ones. Leicester City have only done 1. Now, if you come down with a Prem squad, why do you need to change anybody is one way of looking at it, and that's fair enough. Southampton as well have only done 3. Coventry, who have gotten off to a flying start, they're on 3. And everyone else is kind of mid-tabling it then. So any crazy surprises just that number-wise?
Obviously, we touched on the whole one, albeit a lot of free transfers, and I won't sort of publicly dismiss their business so far, but yeah, I think the surprising one really is the 3 relegated ones, isn't it? The Ipswich, Southampton, and Leicester. I mean, Ipswich obviously have done 7, but Leicester 1, Southampton 3 is a bit of a surprise. I think Leicester obviously off the field, I'm sure, is impacting that, but Southampton especially, I expect that number to go up quite a bit between now and the deadline, especially as they're selling that the winger, the young lad, aren't they? Is it Dibbling or Dibbling? Yeah, because he's off for 40 odd million pounds, isn't he? So yeah.
So I'll pull up a couple of these teams in a minute. I'll just quickly run through the names and see if there's anything of interest. But before that, we are going to hit the teams we know first. So let's do it here. Wrexham, we have 10. And come on, update the page. Here we go. So Nathan Broadhead, Callum Doyle, Lewis O'Brien, Liberto Cacace, Connor Cody, Kiefer Moore, George Thomason, Ryan Hardy, Danny Ward, Josh Windass are our new players this season. I like them. Nice upgrades in general to Championship. Maybe not top end players. I expect that to come next season once we have our baseline met. But I'm pretty comfortable with those, except for the fact that they all seem to be getting injured and not playing first. That's a problem. But otherwise, yeah, money spent and club upgraded players.
Yeah, I think, I like I said, from the outside looking in, I think you guys have done what I would call smart business. You know, you've bought in Championship proven players on the whole. I mean, injuries happen. I suppose the only downside would be is are any of the players that you've signed have a history of injuries? I suppose that's the only. I wouldn't know without really looking into it. But
Windass, people have said he was injury prone and now he's an injury. So that's a little schadenfreude from some of the Wednesday fans.
Yeah, but I mean, what is he? 31? Is he? I think, isn't he? Windass. He's around that age, isn't he? I think, and players over 30 do tend to pick up injuries more frequent, don't they? So it's not unusual.
Yeah, you're correct. 31. Yes, yeah. Good call.
So, but yeah, I mean, you've got a adequate Broadhead replacement, haven't you? So
yeah. Okay, then Birmingham, we have Furuhashi, Dukic, Hickman, Samsted, Neumann, Ose Samuel, Gray, Fujimoto, Beadle, Doyle, Cashin, Kumas, and the others were end of loan. So that's it for you guys. Lots of players there. You have 4 loan transfers.
Yes.
Did you expect 4 loans?
Remind me who the 4 was. Cashin, Doyle.
So the 4: Beadle, Doyle, Cashin, Kumas.
Yeah, I am a little surprised. Yes and no, really. I do fully expect us to utilise loans. The one that surprised me was Beadle. That loan doesn't make sense to me, because he's not number one, and it's a little baffling why they would send him on loan to us. So, but yeah, on the other whole, I would say really good business. Some of them were quite surprising.
Okay. Then we have our old friends Charlton Athletic. They came up with us, promoted through the playoffs. And who do they have this season? Come on. I need a new computer. My computer's so slow.
Don't ask an IT professional.
Okay, so we have Ghassan Ahadme from Ipswich. That was a paid transfer of $1 million. Luke Burry, free transfer from Luton. Greg Docherty, Hull City, free transfer. Will Mannion, Cambridge United, free transfer. Josh Edwards, Dunfermline, free transfer. Alex Gilbert from Middlesbrough is a loan. Alan Campbell from Luton is a loan. And then unknown, we have Kahim Dixon from Arnott Gardens, wherever that's from. Matty Godden from Coventry. Alex Mitchell from Millwall. Another loan is Tom McIntyre from Portsmouth. And then that's it for their business.
Is that this year's or last year's?
Yep. Oh, Jesus, it's not. I clicked on the wrong one.
That's right. There was one name in there that.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, I scrolled down too far. So let's start again. Charlie Kelman, 3.5 million. Rob Apter, 2.3 million. Harvey Nibbs, 2.1. Tonto Olafe, 1.75. Thomas Kaminsky, 1.1 million. Joe Rankin Costello, just under $1 million. Then some free transfers. Amari Bell, Sonny Carey, Reese Burke, and that's it. Then they have some loan players back. So yeah, some decent names: Charlie Kalman, Rob Apter, Harvey Nibbs, Tonto Alafi, Kaminsky.
Yeah, they've spent some money. I think the amount of money they spent has probably took everyone by surprise because no one really
over 10 million.
Yeah,
by these transfer sums.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think everyone knew they would probably sign some players and spend a bit of money, but I think the sheer amount of money has been quite a surprise to people. Was to me. So, yeah.
But generally good business for them. Yeah. They're having a shot at it. They're not going to meekly go back down. They put some cash out there. So that's fair play, I think. Okay, then I thought we will have a quick look at last season's promoted clubs, because very often people say that if you survive your first year, your second is quite dangerous, and you can go back down very easily. So first up, we have Portsmouth. Come on. Okay, we have Mark Kosanovsky from Budapest, 1.3 million. Josh Knight from Hanover 96, 1 million. John Swift, West Brom, free transfer. Then unknown, we have Adrian Zegacic and Luke Leroux from Värnamo. That's a Swedish club, I think, or Finnish maybe. And then two loan transfers, Florian Bianchini from Swansea and Min Hyung Yang from Tottenham. Do you know those players?
I can lie and say yes if you like.
No, you don't. No. So Portsmouth, second season in Championship. Transfers unknown. Very little spent. Potential free transfers. Sydney FC and Värnamo. I doubt they paid very much, but the transfers aren't in there. So yeah, Portsmouth may not be doing too well this season, but they might survive. They have a decent team. They're doing okay. Nothing guarantees you going down. So their business not amazing for this season Next up, we have Oxford United. Let's have a quick look at them. So here we go. We have Brian de Kiersmecker from Hercules Almelo. Great start. Brody Spencer from Huddersfield. Luke Harris from Fulham. That's a loan. Nick Prelic from Cagliari, a loan transfer. Will Lancashire from Tottenham, loan transfer. Ben Davies from Rangers, loan. And then some players coming back. So they've done 6. 4 loans, 2 unknowns. And the big names there, I guess, Will Lancashire and Ben Davies.
Yeah, and obviously first-hand experience of seeing them. Not the Ben Davies one because he only signed yesterday, I think. But yeah, I think it's okay business, but I think they're in for a long season. Oxford, I think. I don't think they have necessarily the resources in place to really go and do like a Charlton, for example.
Yeah. Okay, and then final team is Derby County. Came up the previous season. Now, arrivals for them. We have the big one from Charlotte, 6.9 million, Patrick Agameyang. Then we have Richard O'Donnell, free transfer. Danny Bath from Blackburn. Andreas Feynman, Blackburn as well. Rian Brewster from Sheffield United. Carlton Morris from Luton. Owen Beck from Liverpool. That's a loan. David Ozo from Crystal Palace, loan. Bobby Clark from Salzburg, loan. And Dion Sanderson from Birmingham, loan. So they have 4 loans, 4 free transfers, 1 big spending, and an unknown with Carlton Morris from Luton.
Yeah, I've been impressed with their business so far this window. I think they're struggling like you, though. A lot of those signings have got injured pretty much quite quickly. So, yeah, I think I read somewhere that like 5 of them are all injured at the moment. So they're struggling in that department the same as you guys, I think.
Okay. Aaron, hello.
What's up, buddy?
I forgot to tell them you were coming.
I'm sorry. I was late.
Surprise!
Zayden's game ran a little longer than I expected. So ran a little bit.
We are nearly ready to move on from transfers and hit the weekend's matches. This is my updated graphic for number of players signed by the different teams. We just went through our promoted teams this season. I went through last year's promoted teams just to see what they did, because second year can be dangerous. Anything crazy, surprising, or any teams here you want to have a quick look at who they signed on top of that?
I'll tell you who I've been the most, I think, to start this season out, who I think has been really impressive is Preston North End. I think Preston, and they brought in 11 players. I thought they were going to struggle. That's a team that I had, down at the bottom, and the fact that the business they've done has obviously worked. And I'll be honest, I have not really looked into what they've done. You know what I mean? Like, as far as how they've played, I haven't watched their games, but obviously the results are coming. So, I mean, I think they've back to back. They beat, what was it? I think it was Leicester, then Ipswich yesterday. So, I mean, that's you wouldn't expect them. I wouldn't have expected them to get any points out of those 2 games. You know what I mean? And so the fact that they've won them both, I think that's pretty impressive.
Okay, so I'll throw out the names in a second. Their highest transfer fee was 1.6 million, which was 1 player. They have 6 free transfers, 3 loans came in, and there is 1 unknown, Jack Walton from Luton, that they may have paid a transfer for. So the names are Odeluga Ofaya from Birmingham, that's the paid 1.6 million. Jordan Thompson from Stoke, Daniel Iverson from Leicester, Paul Valentine from Sheff Wednesday, Thierry Small from Charlton, Michael Smith from Sheff Wednesday, Andrea Vukcevic, FC Juarez, Lewis Dobbin from Aston Villa, Daniel Jebison from Bournemouth, there's a name we know, Jack Walton from Luton, Alfie Devine from Tottenham. That's their business.
Yeah. I think was a lot of that free agent then. Is that what we're...
Yes, six free transfers there and 3 loans.
Okay.
Out of their business. So they've not spent a lot.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's a couple of those names that, that we've heard of, but not, I don't think anybody that you would think, oh, yeah, he's really good. You know what I mean? Like nobody that blows you away. But it's just impressive that they've been able to do what they've done. So obviously they've got a plan and those players are fitting in nicely. Be interesting to see how many of those players are playing big minutes for them. You know what I mean? Obviously it's not something I've done, so I haven't looked down into it, but yeah, what they've been able to do is pretty impressive for me in the first 3 games.
They got a good manager too, to be fair to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, now what I'm bringing up now is Leicester City. They've only done 1. I just want to have a quick check who it is. And the website says none.
They've sold him already.
No,
Damn it.
No, it's I found it. I did find it. Free transfer from Everton, Asmir Begovic.
Goalkeeper, yeah.
So that's it, a goalkeeper for Leicester, and they've decided to stand with what they have.
How many have they had go out? Do you have that?
I have it here, yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
Okay, so departures: Mads Hermansen to West Ham for 20 million, Casey McAteer to Ipswich for 13.9 million, Wilfred Ndidi went to Besiktas for 8 million, Connor Cody went to us for 2.3 million, Daniel Iverson went to Preston on a free transfer, Danny Ward came to us on a free transfer, and then they have Jamie Vardy without club, out of contract. So that's their outs. So they've had a few drop off. Obviously, they've had a ridiculous number of players that are of high championship quality. But yes, they've lost a bit. But they've got decent money back in. So what's that? Oh, just over 40 million. But as we know, if they're having problems with their cash flow scenario, a lot of that may need to cover debt, clear debt, and get themselves in a reasonable situation. Maybe for next season, to stop them getting problems next season, because we know they're going to have problems this season.
I read earlier today, I think they are possibly selling James Justin as well, I think, who's the right back who was in England right back some years ago before injuries. So no idea where he's going.
So is there any other team we want to hit up, or are we good?
I'm good with that.
Yep. Okay. So then, did we have fun this weekend? Did we enjoy the matches?
I did.
Did
you enjoy the match, Aaron?
I enjoyed the first half of one match a lot, and then the second half of it kind of sucked. But no, I watched a little bit. Yeah, it was another wild weekend in the championship. So
okay, so match day 3. Wrexham versus Sheffield Wednesday 2-2. The less we talk about that, the better. West Bromwich Albion 1-1 with Portsmouth. Southampton lost 2-1 to Stoke City. Sheffield United lost 1-0 to Millwall. Preston North End won 1-0 against Ipswich. Now that was an interesting result. Norwich lost 2-1 to Middlesbrough. Coventry City won 7-1, their highest number of goals scored in their new stadium, as a new record for them. Absolutely hammered QPR. Birmingham City won 1-0 against Oxford. Charlton Athletic lost 1-0 to Leicester City. Hull City lost 3-0 to Blackburn Rovers. Swansea City had a draw with Watford 1-1. Derby County also pulled off a draw 1-1 with Bristol City. Not Not crazy shocking results this weekend, but some interesting ones.
There was a couple that jumped out at me. For one, Portsmouth going to West Brom and getting a draw, I thought was impressive. The Stoke over Southampton, I didn't expect that. Even Millwall, Sheffield United, even though United have struggled this season, still thought they'd be at least competitive in that game. Middlesbrough to go to Norwich and get a win, I think that's big. Then let's see, the Blackburn 3-0 over Hull. That was at Hull. I thought that was a pretty impressive result. And then, of course, I think for me the biggest one, the big one of the weekend was Preston getting a win over Ipswich, 1-0 over Ipswich. I thought that was the most surprising result.
Yeah, so that puts Ipswich on 2 points, isn't it? 2 draws and a loss.
2 draws, yeah.
Yep.
First 2 match draws and then a loss, which isn't amazing for them because they're only 1 point ahead of us.
Yeah, that's why I told John. He was running his yapper in our chat, and I said, "Hey, if you'd have told me at the beginning of the season, 3 games in would be 1 point behind Ipswich, I'd have took it immediately. I'd have took your arm off for it." So yeah, absolutely, I'm happy. 1 point behind Ipswich.
The worst thing is, Aaron, somebody said exactly the same thing about Luton last season in the Championship, and look
I'm sure they
But yeah, just to touch on that West Brom game, did you see the penalty which wasn't given?
I heard about it. I haven't seen it. I have heard about it.
Watch it. It is one of the worst refereeing decisions I think I have seen in years. The guy literally goes through one-on-one. The Portsmouth defender just literally comes in from behind, just takes him out, just completely wipes his legs out, gone. And the referee just kind of says he got the ball, which he didn't. And it's like, it's a penalty, it's a red card. And of course, it's 1-1 at that point. So
yeah. I saw that their manager got a red card, I guess. Yeah. I don't know if it was after the game or it was right when that happened. I'm not sure. It was, yeah. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that one. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, so where are we going to start? We're not going to start with Wrexham or Birmingham. We can leave those to the end.
Let's start with that Coventry game. Let's dig into that. That sounds exciting. So let's just dig into it. I've not looked into it really, but let's pull up some stats here. I can pull up some goodies, and see what happened there. So obviously, it's Haji Wright gets 2 goals. Thomas Asante gets a goal. Redoni gets 2 goals. And Torp gets 2 goals. Now, what's impressive is they were up, I believe it was 5-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
If I remember that. And I think they went up 6. Did they? They went up 6-0. So they didn't get a goal until the QPR didn't score until the 90th minute when Kone got one in the 91st. So,
yeah, they actually went up 7-0.
Was it okay? Yeah, so 7-0. Yeah, so they went up 7-0. So yeah, it was unbelievable. Just watching that score. That score keeps coming in. In this first half, I'm like 5-0. What the hell's going on? It's just unbelievable.
I was sat in the stands at Birmingham, and my phone kept going off with the notifications that obviously of games and scoring. And I was like, I turned around to my dad saying, Coventry have scored again. Coventry have scored again. And by the 5th time, he turned around to me. He says, your phone's broken. They haven't. I don't believe it.
All right. So let me dig into some of these stats because these are insane. All right. So possession. The 7-1. What do you think? What do you think the possession was? Just take a guess. Best 72%. Guess. Okay. What do you think, Patty?
About 60%.
Okay, so Coventry had 53% of the possession. XG, what do you think? 7 goals. Oh. What do you think their XG was?
I hate XG. XG with 7 goals, they're probably about 3.
1.27. 1.27 and got 7 goals.
Wasn't it 4 of the goals were just basically complete defensive screw ups by QPR.
Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've not watched it. I haven't watched.
I saw one of them where literally one of the QPR players had the ball just before the halfway line, and he had no pass on going forward, so he's literally turned sideways and just tried to pass the ball backwards and just completely screwed it wrong, missed out his entire team, and just giving it straight to the Coventry attacker about 18 yards out. And the commentator was like, "That's the fourth time that's happened today," and it's like, oh dear.
Yeah. So literally, big chances in the match, one apiece. They both had one big chance. Like if you went down through these stats, it's literally like, they had total shots. Coventry had 19 total shots, and 10 for QPR. That's not outrageous. You know what I mean? Okay. 8 shots on target for Coventry, 7 goals. They get 7 goals from shots on target. And then, 1 shot on target for QPR, they got 1 goal. Like I said, the big chances are 1-1. The fouls committed, Coventry had more fouls. Corners, Coventry had 9, 4 for QPR. It's just unbelievable. Like these stats, like that game could have been, if that game ended 2-1, you'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right. You know what I mean? Like 7-1 that game ended. Unbelievable.
So what you're trying to tell us is that Coventry aren't actually as good as the scoreline suggests, and QPR are terrible.
Apparently, I don't know. I don't know what it means. I don't know what you take of that.
Don't give Coventry chances. That's what I take from that.
It takes. I mean, that or QPR's goalkeeper's god awful. Yeah, they had they had a cactus in like one of them buckets. That was their goalkeeper. They just stuck a cactus in goal, and that was it. And he just stood there like this with his arm up, one out here and one arm like that. Yeah. So no, I don't know. Wild game, pretty wild. Didn't get to watch it, but the stats were ridiculous on it.
Okay. If we're playing guessing games, guess what score their keeper got?
Oh God, I don't know. That didn't look. Could have been good. 7 goals. But I feel like you're going to tell me it was good.
It depends if he had a chance of saving any of them, I suppose, doesn't it?
I'm going to say 4.
He might have saved
4.5.
No.
Oh God. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would like a 6, 6.5.
2.8.
2.0. Okay. He was that bad.
Yeah, and 3 other players got 4.6, 4.7, 4.8. Not good.
No, not good at all.
Rudoni for Leicester got a 9.3.
You mean for Coventry?
Oh, sorry, for Coventry, yeah. Coventry. And Wright got a 9. So
yeah, there's a few rumours about Rudoni around leaving, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
No idea who to, but I would imagine Coventry would demand big money.
I know. It seemed like all summer long, Southampton were after him, weren't they? But I don't know if that's gone anywhere. You know what I mean?
Well,
but like you said, I was listening to you guys earlier, and you were talking about they were just about to make that sell. They get 40 million. All of a sudden, maybe they can make a move for Rudoni. What do you think he'd cost? I haven't heard what they're asking, so I'm curious. What do you think he'd cost? He's got to be in that range though.
Rudoni, between 15 and 20.
No, that's it. I figured he'd be higher than that.
No,
don't think so.
No. He's a very good Championship player, but yeah, I mean Southampton. It's one of those. It's not necessarily what he's worth, is it? It's what Coventry would probably have to accept. If Southampton came in with like say 17 million, 18 million quid up front, Coventry probably would have to accept, because it's just it's a lot of money.
Okay, so he's 24, and it's an interesting one for us. Should you really pay 15 million for someone who's not going to be good enough if you move up?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that standard for the bigger clubs? Are they willing to spend 15 million Well, we'll pay 10 soon enough, but 15 million for a championship player that isn't likely good enough at next level.
Birmingham spent 30 for Pinsfield last season in League One.
I would have thought you would have upped it by at least 10 million. It's been a week.
I'll get there. Don't worry. I'll have it at 60 by the end. By the end of the season, we'll be in the 60 range.
I suppose the thing is with Radoni is no one knows whether he can make it in the Premier League. But at 24, you would say if he was good enough at 24, he probably would already be in the Premier League.
Yeah,
if you get me. So
there's so many kids coming through the high end academies that are getting into teams at 22, 21, 22. All the academies are making their decisions once you've passed the 21 bracket and are no longer free. It's either, okay, we got to shift you, or you're already making the squad pretty much. And they're breaking in early. So you've got 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds. Yeah, they're standard in the team. Like, who's the guy who's the youngest? I can't remember his name. The youngest scorer in the championship.
The Leicester lad who scored the other week.
Yeah, 16.
Manga. Is it
Manga?
Manga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not manga, it's manga. Yeah, like 16, and he's already playing and scoring in the championship. So that's what you're up against. So yeah, 24, 25. If you're not already near the Prem, you're probably not getting there.
Arsenal started a 15-year-old yesterday, so
Did they really? Jeez.
Well, I say it started. They brought on a 15-year-old kid as a sub. So
wow, it's wild. Oh well, who you want to look at next?
Let's have a look. Okay, next up, let's skip the draws. Stoke versus Southampton. That's an interesting one.
Okay.
Yeah, Stoke were 2-0 up in this, weren't they? I think.
Yeah, and they ended up with a red card. Still held on. Actually, I think they scored their second goal while they had 10 men. Yeah. Insane. Did you see that second goal, by the way?
Yes.
That's the one with Johansson. That was the Johansson assist, right? The throw. Yeah. Unbelievable. Guys, if you haven't seen this highlight in the chat, Victor Johansson, the goalkeeper for Stoke, gets the ball, takes off running. Instead of just booting it, he takes it and looks like he hurls his whole body into this throw. Throws the ball, beats everybody down. I can't remember. It's Sorba Thomas, I think, who runs onto it and goes down, makes a move, and ends up scoring off of it. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable assist from a throw from the keeper. You know what I mean? Not a it's not like he punted it out of there. He threw it. It was unbelievable play. Unbelievable.
Really underrated goalkeeper, actually, because I know the lads from the Rotherham podcast, New York Talk, they have raved about Victor Johansson for years at Rotherham. And it was a bit of a surprise that it was Stoke that went for him, because he'd performed at championship level, but you kind of half expected a playoff chasing team to come and get him. But everyone's a bit surprised at Stoke. But the last season and obviously start of this season, he's proving to be one of the better goalkeepers in the league. So if he keeps doing that, there'll be Premier League teams after him.
Oh, it's wild, but he's not that big of a guy. We get used to seeing these 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" goalkeepers, and he's like 6 foot maybe. He's not a big guy, but he flies around.
He made an unbelievable save early in that game as well. I think it was from a corner, from a header where he had no right to get anywhere near it. And not only did he get anywhere near it, he got a hand and absolutely bombed it the other way. It was an unbelievable save.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Really like him. Let me see. I was going to try to pull that up and see what. He's 6'1". So according to FotMob, he's 6'1". So he's not a big guy, but he just flies around his box. You know what I mean? I enjoy watching him. He's really good.
Are you guys surprised that Southampton not scoring as many goals as you thought they might do? I'm a little bit surprised that they haven't.
Well, just looking at the stats on that game, it does look like they should have scored some more, but Johansson may have been
Mm.
the trick to that, but yeah, I mean, because they were 2.59 xG, 18 shots, but only 2 on target, I guess. So maybe the quality's not there. They're getting shots, but the quality's not there.
4 big chances.
Yeah, 4 big chances.
It's pretty decent.
Mhm.
I prefer Southampton's play to Leicester, personally.
Mhm.
I expect Southampton at the moment to be doing better, just based on what I've seen this season so far. Obviously not enough to make that decision right now, but I'm more impressed with Southampton than I am with Leicester
Mhm.
so far.
Yeah.
And all the big moments seem to be second half in this match. So you were saying there about the timings. Stoke scored with Baker at 54. Then Mubamba got sent off at 59. Then Thomas scored at 79, making it 2-0. And then Harwood Bellis at 79. 4 minutes later made it 2-1. And then they managed to hold on to the 2-1 lead till the end. Good going.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Because Stoke, I mean, I don't think any of us had them high up the table.
Never trust Stoke. No one trusts Stoke. No one does.
I don't remember where I ended up with them, but I had them pretty low. I don't think anybody had them probably above 15th, did they? In our picks preseason, and I don't think I saw anybody that had them high up the table. But yeah, I hats off to them. I mean, they're doing well, obviously.
Early days still.
It's early, but they're doing well.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh.
Okay.
What else? Anything else on that?
No. We can move on to a team that's not doing well early doors.
Mm-hmm.
We have Sheffield United versus Millwall. Losing another match 1-0 at home. Millwall taking the 3 points on the road, which is good for them. But Sheffield United have still not got points.
Yeah.
Not good.
And you look at that, the stats on that game look fairly even realistically. And United had 62% of the ball though, which you'd kind of expect from a Sellers team. I think he's going to try to keep the ball as much as he can. Plus Millwall, I think they're happy to play without the ball too. That just seems like a 1-0 just sounds like a Millwall game. You know what I mean? Played it just like they wanted to, got their goal, held on. I think what they score, and I just lost it. The 39th minute or something like that. I think it said early. It was earlier in the game, at least I think. There we go.
38 minutes.
38 minutes, yeah. 38th minute, and then just held on. It's it's interesting to see what this. Second half they just sat back and absorbed everything. Looks like the stats in the second half were all Sheffield United. Just couldn't get the finish.
I think the worrying thing for Sheffield United is predominantly it's the same squad that finished third with 90 plus points last season. But as a team right now, they look absolutely bereft of any idea what they are meant to be doing. Well, they just seem all over the place.
Well, here's the thing. When you take a manager who plays a certain way and you get rid of him, but then you keep his whole squad and don't replace any of them, and then bring in a manager that wants to play a completely different way, I mean, it's like you might as well have an all-new squad because they're doing something completely different than what they were last season. So I think they brought this on themselves. You know what I mean? Like, this is, they shouldn't. If you're the higher ups at Sheffield United, you should not be surprised that this is what's happening. If you're not even backing the manager. I mean, they've brought in hardly anything really.
I agree to a point, but when you look at the personnel they've got, They've got players in there that can play the way that Sellers and that, they're not sort of bad footballers. I mean, you got Gus Harmer, who is, let's face it, he's probably the best midfielder in the division. You got Callum O'Hare, who was a wonderful number 10 for Coventry for a number of years. They've got wonderful ball players in there. So I understand what you're saying, from a tactical point of view, it's a big change and everything, but they should still be capable of, putting some sort of performance. I just wonder whether they just are not having the manager. I just wonder if it's a I don't know how much they were linked or liked with the previous manager, but I just wonder if this new guy's come in and they're just not having him. A bit like our lot did with Rooney.
Yeah. Could be. That's a great question, Elizabeth.
It's a question most Sheffield United fans would love the answer to.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll take it. The simple answer, as far as we're hearing, is that they wanted a yes man. That the owners are coming in, they're changing things around, they have their own ideas, and they want the manager who'll do as he's told. Pretty much. Because Wilder certainly wasn't going to do as he was told. So they swapped him out, and now. Will they get rid of him? I don't think so. I think he's going to get a long time because he's doing as he's asked. Now he'll probably come in for flack at some point, and at some point owners will cover their own arse by blaming a manager, even if it is their fault. So we don't know obviously what's happening on the day to day and how much interference there is or isn't. But yeah, can you get all your players back up by getting rid of a beloved manager who almost got them there? Yeah, that could very well be part of it.
Yeah, I think another thing to that too. They did get new ownership last season. It was the middle of last season, around January, I think. They had a takeover, so they probably looked at it and thought they wanted to get their own guy in. I think that's something that a lot of management groups do. Where, they want their guy. So. I mean,
I agree with that. But in fairness, you don't often have a manager that was within a hair's breadth of getting to the Prem and with such a huge number that it would get you promoted automatically on multiple seasons. So that doesn't happen often. Yes, I know getting rid of an okay manager, who is doing well, okay, clean slate, that's fine. Everybody understands that. This was backing yourself a lot, because what are the odds that you're going to do as well as that manager? With another manager, there's much more downside than upside. How far more up can you get? You can't, except basically winning the playoffs or getting automatic promotion, which is never a simple task in general anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, the stupid thing is, if you were an ownership group looking to try and hire a manager in their position as a parachute payment club wanting to get up, Chris Wilder is experienced at getting clubs up in this division. He's the guy a team like that would look at in normal circumstances. So the fact that they've got rid of him to bring in a guy that has got no experience of doing that makes it even more confusing and baffling. But it doesn't get any easier for them, does it? Because I think the game before they finish for the international break is Middlesbrough away, who of course are 3 out of 3. So, they could be four played, 4 losses by the international break. So,
and it's Ipswich after that, I believe. Yeah. So that could be 5 in a row.
Yeah, and in which case, if let's just play devil's advocate. If they get to 5 in a row, that fan base will be screaming for him to be thrown out, irrespective of whether the owners back him or not. And when the fan base turns, there's no coming back.
Yeah, I agree.
And both those matches are away as well, just to be worse. Also, wow, just looking at it, in the first 5 matches, Sheffield United will have had 4 away matches.
Wow, that's rough.
2-1-2. That is unlucky.
Wow.
Jesus, they're going to have some harsh start if they don't win those. Okay, have we kicked Sheffield United enough or anything else?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we can kick them some more, but I'm good. I'm happy.
Okay, so next up then, Preston North End, Ipswich. Let's have a look at Ipswich again not winning.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do that.
Give me just a second, fellas.
Cat.
I got a cat needs out of this room. I didn't realize he was in here when I shut the door.
Okay. Ipswich versus Preston. So 11 minutes into the match, Preston North End get a penalty. That's the only goal of the match. Now, possession stats, as you would expect for Ipswich, 72% possession. They had 15 total shots with 2 big chances and scored 0. Preston North End had 2 total shots, 1 big chance, and then scored with the penalty. So that's some craziness going on there.
Yeah, the penalty is the big chance. The penalty is counted.
It was. I'm not sure if it was counted or not.
It is. That's how
it is.
I looked up I actually looked that up when I was writing my article the other day because I wanted to see if it was, and it that is included. Every penalty is counted as a big chance. So
they need to do some business, don't they, Ipswich? I think at the front end of the pitch, I think they're severely lacking the quality that they would want to be able to challenge for, well, essentially to win the league. I mean, they brought in the McAteer guy from Leicester, which I'll be honest, I'm surprised because he's not a regular for Leicester and they've paid 14 million quid for him. So, but then
Casey McAteer,
yeah. But then again, you never date Kieran McKenna because the guy's just a bit of a guru and a bit of a genius at this level. So
so they're good.
I was going to say he obviously sees something in him which no one else does. So
yeah, so they have a front line 3-1. They went with a 4-2-3-1, and you have Clark, Schmodix, Philogene, and then up front Hurst is what they went with to start their match. You would think that should be good enough.
Yeah, which is ridiculous for this level. Yeah. The only thing I think lets it down is Hurst in the 9.
That's what I was going to say. I think Hurst is the problem. Could be the problem.
He scored the lowest on the team with a 5.9.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, you think with Schmodix in there, I mean, we know he can score goals at this level. Philogene is a great winger at this level. Clark is a good player at this level. Like they shouldn't have a problem getting goals in. And it may just be one of those things like once they start hitting, they're gonna start hitting. Like it's coming. It's gonna come. You know what I mean? But like you said earlier, we're only 3 games in, so it's hard to really take a realistic look at it and really come away with anything. But Hurst does seem to be the weak link up there.
I still have question marks over Smodix, which sounds a bit daft, but Ipswich signed him off the back of an absolutely unbelievable season for Blackburn, but he had done nothing previous seasons.
Yeah.
So part of me just kind of goes, I mean, I look at him and I think he looks a really good player, but I kind of look at that and go, did he just really have one purple season? Was it just one season that he was just everything he went in the back of the net? Was that just out of the ordinary to his career, or is he at a level now where he can progress? I don't know. That's the only worry I would have with Smodix.
Do you remember? I can't remember. Didn't he play as the 9 in that group for Blackburn when he was scoring all the goals, or was he playing as a 10? Or did they play like a front 2 type?
they played a front two where Smodics would kind of float wherever he would like. But
right, so he'd play
Yeah.
probably more of a 10 than he was a
Yeah.
9 then. Okay, that's fair.
But they have signed Chuba Akpom, who did score 28 goals in this league for Middlesbrough, playing as a 10.
Yeah.
So I wonder whether McKenna is also thinking
move him.
Yeah, I maybe want somebody in there that's going to push Smodics or replace Smodics. Maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't be completely surprised if they brought in a number 9 though, before the window closed. Another one. Yeah, because that does seem like because really they don't. Other than that, I mean, I don't think they've looked bad. I mean, it's not like they didn't control the game against you guys like I thought they would. Their midfield didn't look as good against you guys as I thought it should, to be fair. And that's the only game I'm going back to that game because that's the only game that I've actually watched of theirs this season. So, yeah, in that game they looked. I mean, they didn't look bad, but you guys definitely seemed like you ran the midfield and dominated that game. So it was. I don't know. It's interesting. I don't know.
I think they are in for some midfielders because they have lost Morsey and Luongo, and I know they brought in one midfielder for about 11 million, but I think it's a well-known fact they're after another 1 or 2 central midfielders.
Yeah. Well, I know they were linked. They are linked also with Jordan James, who Wrexham's linked with. So we'll see if that goes anywhere. But
I could see that because they were interested in him when he was leaving us. So I could see that because they've obviously got long-term interest.
Yeah.
Next,
yeah. What we got?
Okay, what we got? Norwich City versus Middlesbrough.
Interesting.
So Norwich City lost 2-1 to Middlesbrough. Away win for Middlesbrough. So
I felt really good I felt like at 2 at halftime I thought, you know what? I think I think we can get this I thought I was gonna get this score prediction dead on 2-2. I thought Norwich is gonna come back in the second half and it's gonna be a 2-2 game. And then it ends up they get the red card on 58 minutes and just killed it. And I was like, that's a little disappointing. They did end up scoring. Sargent scored one late on. Yeah, but I just felt like it was setting up to be one of those games like, oh yeah, Norwich is gonna draw this thing. And I'd picked the 2-2 in our predictions. And to be honest, as far as our predictions go, I think I got absolutely every game wrong. I'm almost sure. I'm pretty positive I had a horrible weekend of picks. So
I must admit, I was really surprised by this because I thought Middlesbrough coming off the perfect 2 games. I thought away at Norwich, this is where it comes unstuck for them.
Yeah.
And of course, Norwich with Josh Sargent still there, which is a bit of a surprise. I was like, yeah, away at Norwich is a horrible fixture for most teams. And I just thought, that's where they'll come unstuck. So to be 2-0 up, was it 2? They were 2-0 up, weren't they?
Yeah, it was 2-0. Yeah, they went up 2-0 up.
Yeah. And the stupid thing was, I remember watching the highlights. They're 2-0 up. They had a 2-on-1. Or sorry, they had a 2 on the goalkeeper, didn't they? And the guy completely fluffed it. He squared it behind the guy, so he got it trapped. It hit his heel and went backwards. You just thought, you square it properly, it's 3-0. They literally go up the other end of the pitch and score and make it 2-1. And at that point, you just kind of think, this is coming, like you said, Aaron. But credit to them. They held on.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get that one. I was excited, but so what do we think about Sargent? Like, it seems like everything's gone quiet on him too. Really, like is he going? I don't know that he goes anywhere.
I think it's down to money, isn't it? They're sticking by their valuation, and it's maybe putting teams off because the teams that are probably looking for a striker and have got that sort of money to spend dare I say it, looking for better than him.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't see any Premier League clubs. I mean, there was a lot of talk about Leeds, wasn't there? But that seems to have completely gone quiet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see anyone in the Premier League coming in for him. So then you're looking abroad, and do teams abroad have the sort of money that Norwich are demanding? I don't know.
Would he fit Ipswich as a 9? Do you think they'd go for him?
Yeah, he would, but there's no chance on this planet that a player.
Yeah, they're not going to sell Norwich to do Ipswich. You're right. Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
They're not going to do that.
I mean, they would. I mean, if they said his value was 50 million and Norwich and Ipswich rang up and they say, oh, it's 35, 40 million, lads.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
What do you think they have price-wise? What do you think is fair that they're after? Is it 25 million or is it less?
I think they were asking around 20, weren't they? I think it was.
I think so. Yeah.
So
well, he still has 3 years on his contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think he's a cheat code at this level. but
if you're going to take out all the teams around you that are going to compete with you, they're the only ones that have the money to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know.
Because didn't we just make the phone call and ask how much he was?
Apparently, that was the rumor.
Yeah, and that was it. There was no more.
Made the call.
No more rumors. Nothing.
The phone went down rather quickly after the number was said. So
yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. I think right now, unless something crazy on deadline day happens, I think he stays. Which I think Norwich as themselves would love. I'm not sure Sargent would personally want that, but yeah.
But if he can't get a Prem team and he has to stay in the Championship or move abroad. Do you think he would be hoping to move abroad?
There was a rumor he was close to move to. Who was it in Germany? There was a German club that were Wolfsburg were close, and I thought that deal was going to happen, and then last minute. Yeah, he rejected it. And the rumor was that I saw was, or at least Norwich fans said, his wife didn't want to go to Germany. And that, so I mean,
I lived in Germany. There's a reason people don't want to live there.
Oh, I've never been to Germany, so
they're nice enough people, but would not be my first place to live on money.
Is it expensive?
No, if you have money, there's a lot nicer places. And
I see. If you got
if I had money, I would not be picking Germany.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Didn't he come from German football, or did I imagine that? Didn't he?
I think he was at one point. So I was just, let me look.
I could have sworn, didn't Norwich sign him from a German side, or have I just completely made that up?
I think you're right. Let me look it up. I'm almost there. Career. Nope, go back. Yeah, Werder Bremen. Yeah. So he was there he was there for a long time. Yeah, looks like he got a start there. Werder Bremen. And then went to Norwich in 21-22.
But I suppose if he's going to go abroad, and if you're talking 20 million quid, you are talking German football, possibly Italian football at a push, but I don't think he's good enough over there, and Spanish football. And it's like, well, I don't see any of the clubs in those top divisions paying 20 million quid for Josh Sargent. If you follow me, I just think either Norwich are going to have to lower that asking price to get him to get out the door if they need him to get out the door, or they're just going to stick to their guns and say no, that's the price tag, and then I think he stays.
Yeah.
Let's just wait till next summer and we can afford 15 million from.
There you go. Oh shoot! Yeah, I expect him to get a move this season because I know with the World Cup next summer, I think he's going to figure in big for the U.S. national team, and I think they wanted him to get a move too. So I don't know. We'll see how that ends up, but yeah,
I mean, the key for him is to score a bucket load of goals between now and January, and then come January, say a West Ham or Brighton or
Okay.
somebody who possibly could
Mhm.
be struggling for goals in the Premier League get desperate and go, here's 20 million.
I think
maybe.
don't hold me to this. I think he's scored in every game so far, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he scored. He scored 4 goals, 4 from 3. So, or well, I guess that one of those was the EFL Cup. So yeah, he's played. He even played in the EFL Cup game. So he even scored in that. So yeah, he scored in all 3 championship games and the EFL Cup game. So yeah, Josh Sargent, he will score goals.
Okay. Next up, then, who are we going to hit next? We've already done Coventry. We're going to skip Birmingham. Charlton Athletic versus Leicester. We'll have a brief chat on that one.
Quick, I'm gonna pull up.
Yeah, there was no Nathan Jones antics on the touchline this weekend, which was glorious. So
Can you imagine? If they'd have beat Leicester?
yeah, I mean, there would have been videos of him running around the pitch with his shirt over his head or something, wouldn't there?
Doing somersaults down the touchline.
Yeah. I mean, I think he does it on purpose. He knows it winds everyone up, and everyone thinks he's an idiot. So he has to sort of live up to the tag, doesn't he? But
I'll tell you what. Just looking at the stats, I feel like he probably feels like he's hard done by not getting a point out of that one.
Yeah.
Oh.
I saw the highlights, and Charlton had some chances. Let's put it that way.
20 shots on goal, or 20 shots to Leicester's 6. 7 on target to Leicester's 2. So they had more shots on target than Leicester did total shots.
What I would say is, though, the goal that won the game was worthy of winning any game of football. It was an absolute worldy hit. Yeah. It really was.
That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, two big chances for Charlton. They didn't take them.
Yeah.
And this is the problem if you are ending up down in the relegation fight. When you get those chances, you better take them.
Yeah.
Because that will be the difference at the end of the season.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's the difference. The main difference what I'm seeing between the Championship and League One is if you give team chances a lot, most of them are taking those chances. You know what I mean? You can't let teams get away with it. And the vice versa of that is if you're not taking yours, they probably are taking theirs. So you've got to be on. Got to absolutely be on. But yeah, so it's not surprising. I would have thought that game would have looked, stat wise, I would have thought it would have looked the other way. But yeah, looks like Charlton actually probably had the better of it. Just couldn't finish.
Yeah, they look very dangerous on set pieces, Charlton, I have to say. In the highlights I saw, you kind of thought, yeah, I'm not looking forward to playing them and giving away a corner, put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought I think they were pretty good last season with set pieces too. Just off the top of my head thinking. But yeah, they're good. They're good. Oh.
Okay. All right. Next up, then, we have Blackburn Rovers winning 3-0 against Hull away.
Yeah, this was a surprise for me. I liked Hull. I thought Hull was looking really, really sharp first couple games. And then against us in the cup, I thought Ollie McBurney looked really good. So yeah, it'd be interesting to look into this one. See what happened.
Yeah, I was quite surprised because obviously we played Blackburn the week before, And while they were really well organised and tough and big and strong, having seen Hull a couple of times, I thought going into this game, well, Hull will probably just have a little bit too much for Blackburn. I thought McBurney up front would be the difference maker. So, I mean, Blackburn winning wasn't a massive surprise in that set, but I think it's the 3-0 away from home is a surprise. I didn't see that Blackburn side I saw against us have 3 goals in them, and equally I thought Hull would have something, a goal or 2 in them as well. So yeah, I was very surprised by this one.
Yeah,
just when I thought Hull were actually looking to defy everyone's prediction, they go and do that.
Yeah, and to look at the possession was 50-50, but everything else went Blackburn's way. It was the XG was 3.03 for Blackburn to 0.52 for Hull, and then it was total shots 14 for Blackburn to 8, shots on target 6 to 2, and then big chances, 5 big chances for Blackburn, and they missed 2 of them. So apparently, that sounds to me like just some absolute horrible defending at the back. Like just really bad mistakes at the back. I haven't seen the highlights of this one, but that sounds like just really shit defending, to get that many big chances. That's interesting. Really interesting. Which they did just send. They sold the one defender. What was his name? I can't think of the name off the top of my head. Hull did. And then they brought in what's his name from you guys, right? Was it Bielik that they got from you?
No, he went to West Brom.
Oh, who was? Oh, yeah, okay. Who did they get? Or maybe they hadn't got nobody yet. Thought they were selling one. I thought seemed like, or I had sold one. Unless I'm mixing up the team, maybe I'm mixing up them at West Brom. I might have West Brom mixed up, but
they did sell a centre back, I think, to Middlesbrough.
Maybe that's what it was.
Checking it.
I can't think of what his name was. But it seemed like they were when. I might be thinking of West Brom. I might have had it backwards, but yeah. Anyway. I thought they looked pretty good against.
Alfie Jones, they sold to Middlesbrough.
Okay, what? Is Charlie? See other one's name. Hughes is linked with somebody. I think he is going. I don't think he's gone yet, but I think he could be going. I wonder if that's in it. Did he play? Let me check the lineup. He did not play. Charlie Hughes was not in the lineup, so it was Egan and McCarthy were the 2 at the back. So that makes me wonder if was Hughes on the bench even. Let's see. I don't see him. So no, has Charlie Hughes already made that move? I wonder, or did they just sit him completely out because they expect him to move?
I think they might have just sit him out because I don't think he's gone yet.
That's
he's not on the list of transfers. It's complete anyway.
Right. Yeah, and I knew there was some rumors. So, and I think he's probably their best defender. I would think. So yeah, that's really interesting. So maybe he's heading out, and maybe that's why they had such a disaster at the back because it does look like it was a disaster. Oh yeah. Anyway, so what else? Anything else on this one?
No.
Nope.
I got nothing.
Okay, then we have a couple of draws. We have Swansea City versus Watford, Derby County versus Bristol. I won't go into those too much, but Bristol City drawing versus Derby. Good result for Derby at home, I guess. But Bristol City doing well so far in general. So I was a little surprised there.
Either of you two see that game? Because that was the Friday night TV game for us. And my God, it was a dreadful game of football.
Yeah, wasn't much to watch. I had it on. Also was playing Football Manager, so didn't have to necessarily suffer through it while I was watching. But I was watching. I was kind of watching. But yeah, I'll have to agree. There wasn't much to see. I don't think.
It was basically Scott Twine doing everything he could to make it a game of football worthy of like actually watching, and then everyone else just kicking lumps into each other and kicking the ball down the field. So yeah, I just nearly fallen asleep. I won't lie.
Yeah, I had the laptop open and was kind of watching. I was like, this isn't great.
Stupid thing was, as soon as Bristol didn't get that second goal and you entered like the last 15 minutes, I just sat there and went, John Eustace, this game has gone.
Mhm.
They will get an equaliser. You can just see it. Yeah,
Mhm.
written all over it.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh shoot. But yeah. No, I was it wasn't a great game. Wasn't great. Twine, I'll tell you what, Twine is a good player though, isn't he? I like him.
Yeah, we went after him last summer.
Did
he didn't want to step down to League One. So we wanted him as the number 10, but he decided, because he was on loan at Bristol the previous season, so he signed for Bristol, and we signed William Williamson instead.
Yeah.
So yeah, good player, Twine.
Mm-hmm.
So that just leaves our two matches.
Do we have to talk about it?
Well, I was wondering the same thing. No, we don't.
I'm sure John doesn't mind too much, but
it never happened.
Oh, shoot.
First half was good.
No, you know what? I think the first half was. I think that's what Parkey wants. I think that was what we are going to look like once everything gets settled. And I think you start a comment, and if you want to bring it up, you go ahead and bring it up, and we can touch on it. Because I'll address this in my opinion. We love Parkey, but at what point can we be honest regarding the lack of subs when we clearly see that players are tired? Here's my argument. The players that needed to come off, who on the bench could come in and fill that role? I don't think we had one. I think we needed to get Matty James off. I think Dobson probably needed to come off. He was fantastic in the first half. I'll tell you, he had his best game. His first half was fantastic.
Mm.
I think in the second half, the legs started to go. Then he started to struggle. But who are you going to bring in? Elliot Lee? He doesn't fill either one of those roles. Ashfield? I don't think he does either one of those roles either. You could argue, well, just to get the legs in, get them in. I just don't think we had a player on the bench that was going to be better than what was already on there, even though they were tired. I don't think, and I'm sure that's what he was thinking, because anybody watching was like, these guys are tired. We need, we got to get somebody in there. But I just think when you're looking at the bench, it's like, okay, well, who do we bring on? And you weren't going to go more attacking. You know what I mean? You could make a change and try to go more attack. Like if you bring Elliot Lee on, that's more of an attacking change. That's not going to help defensively. And we really needed to solidify things defensively. You know what I mean? So that's, I don't know. I don't know that. And here's the thing. If say he brings Elliot Lee on for Dobson, and then what happens anyway, everybody's yelling at him, well, why would you bring Elliot Lee on? You know what I mean? And that's what would have happened. You know what I mean? So it's
in this case I would have. In this case I would have.
And you can make that argument, and that's I'm not against it. I just don't think I understand his thinking, because I don't think we had a player on the bench that really would have made the difference.
Yeah, for me, in that scenario, it's just the speed in the legs, because the guys were dead on their feet. They weren't getting at anybody. They weren't stopping any plays. They weren't breaking up plays anywhere. You know, yeah. I
It's a
would have.
tough one. It's a tough
Yeah,
one. And
oh,
that's
it is tough. But for me, if you were going to defend yourself, if it fell apart afterwards, then at least in the interviews afterwards, you be honest about it and say, look, we have injury problems, and you know, when we needed to bring people on to replace those that were tired, our formations just weren't as good.
No.
And at the moment, there's nothing we can do till we get guys back.
Yeah. Get back guys back or get back guys in, you know. Because I think
Now,
a Rathbone on the bench does make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
He makes a big difference. I think even a Thomas, and even though I haven't seen him a ton, I think a Thomas on the bench, that makes sense. That would be one that you'd bring in. And so to have those two out right now, I think just killed us. You know, if it was O'Brien, if O'Brien's the one you want to bring off, then yeah, that's Elliot Lee. Put Elliot Lee in for O'Brien. That makes sense. That to me, that's the change. That's a change that makes sense. But I don't think O'Brien was the one that looked dead. You know what I mean?
Okay. So why don't you put Lee on for O'Brien and bring O'Brien back, and tell him he has to take the defensive duties?
You could. I mean, you could have done that. You could. That's
the
fair.
best of a bad situation.
Yeah, that's a fair argument. And it might have been better than what we did. It's something, you know. But yeah, I don't know. It's and then again, it may have been Phil saying this was his way of saying, hey, I need some midfielders. I need to get these midfielders over the line, guys. I don't think he'd have done that, but it wouldn't. There's definitely managers out there that would have done that though. Would have looked at it and said, you know what, we're gonna prove a point here. I need some midfield help, and this is why. And so I'm not saying he did that, but there are certainly managers that would have done that. So no, it sucks because anybody could see it. It was like, we're dead. We need legs. We absolutely needed players in there. But then like I just go back for myself when I look in like coaching even a different sport, but American football, and it's like, okay, I need to make a change here. But then I look at who I've got, and it's like, I've got nobody to bring in. You know what I mean? I've been in that situation. It's like he's dead, but I've got nobody to bring in and play that can fill that role and do what he does. So a dead him is better than, you know, somebody that's got legs but can't do it at all. You know, so it's tough, dude. And I talked to Joshua afterwards yesterday. He called me. He's like, he called me before he did his show. He said, I'm trying to stay positive. So we were talking. I was like, that's what I told him. I was like, man, I go, when we get to that point, and we didn't have the players to come on. We didn't have the right players to come on. We had players we could have thrown in, but I don't think we had the right players. And until we get those guys back, it could be a problem. You know what I mean? So, but you know what though? The first half, if we can get what we did in the first half, if we can get a complete 90 of that, we're going to beat plenty of teams.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. There was good. That as disappointing as the result was. And here's the other thing you got to remember too. They've got nothing to lose. They're down 2-0. So for them to make the changes they made and throw on some young guys, who cares? We're down 2-0 anyway. You know what I mean? So it's easy for them to make those changes because they're just, for another American reference, they're just doing a Hail Mary. Okay, let it, throw them in there, get the kids in. They got legs, let them run, let them go after it. And then once they had more of the ball, that's when Bannon took over and just absolutely, that guy's so good, such a good footballer. He's so good. Oh, he was great. He was fantastic.
He's like 333.
I don't care how old he is. He was fantastic yesterday. He was fantastic, and he didn't do much at all in the first half. But once they got ahead, got in the game, got us pinned back where he could get more on the ball and be on the ball more, he was all over the place, and he was so good. So really impressed with him. And like I said, I know when we did our the tactical fortitude show, I said they are a team. They're dangerous because they're not bad. They're not a bad team at all. So, even their previous games I had watched, it was they had chances. Leicester,
Hmm.
they easily could have got a point in that game, if not won it. The Stoke game that I watched, obviously they gave up the goals to Stoke, but also they had chances. It wasn't like they were ran off the pitch. You know what I mean? It wasn't a complete domination by Stoke. So they're not a bad team, and they'll beat some teams. They're gonna be dangerous. They're gonna beat some teams for sure. As long as they can stay healthy. I think they start getting injury bug, they could have some issues when they have to start leaning for 90 minutes on those young guys. But right now, though, I think they're gonna be pretty tough. They're gonna be all right. But I don't know. I wasn't as upset as a lot of people were about it. Just because I was looking at it from the standpoint of I understand why he didn't make the changes that we would have taught. He made his usual changes up top, which he does that every game. You know what I mean? You change the strikers out. But like I said, I don't know. In the midfield is where we needed the changes, and the other one was the one I will criticize. I don't understand why we didn't bring Ryan Barnett in, and at least move Longman over for Macca. Yeah, I can understand you not necessarily wanting to bring Mindy on unless you absolutely have to. But I don't understand why we didn't get Barnett on because if we could have we had chances where we were getting balls down the right hand side, and if we'd have had Barney's legs in there, I think that would have helped a lot. So I will criticize that. I don't understand unless there's something else there that we don't know. If he's hurt or something for some reason. But I don't understand why Barney didn't get on the pitch. So that would be the one. Paul Kelly saying Doyle for 20 minutes, but he's in the back three. I don't think that's where I don't think the back three was the problem. I think it was the midfield. We needed legs in the midfield, and he's not a midfielder, so you're not going to throw him in for his first shot in a position that he doesn't play. I don't think that would have done anything. I don't think it would have changed anything.
There was an interesting comment in Discord, which I know Parker will never do, but in this unusual situation, he was saying put Doyle on in a back four, leave the guys on, and basically pull an attacker and go full defensive, and just spread out the defense to help the midfield if they're breaking through the midfield, which is an interesting one. Now I know Parker would never take such an extreme tactic like that, but considering how good the player is, it's an option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't. Okay, but if you bring him on, who you taking off? Because really, at that point, we were playing a back five, so you're kind of not necessarily making as defensive a change as you think you are. Because our wing backs were buried. They were playing. They were playing as fullbacks.
Well, they were trying to, but Macca was doing nothing. He was getting circled the whole time. He wasn't even close to the player trying to stop crosses in. Like it was just way too slow.
Wouldn't you take off a striker or number 10 and bring on Doyle and I mean I won't go sort of all in on Parky, but that's what managers do at this level. If you haven't got the personnel to sort of like for like replacements, well, you protect the ones that are on there which you can't take off. So if your midfield is leggy, well then, and you're under the cosh, well yeah, you do take off an attack and you bring on another body in midfield, so the midfielders don't have to track as many runners, so they don't have to carry on doing the amount of running they have been.
And Macca could push forward a little bit further up to give the space on the back line. And just lose that little bit of duty that he can stay out the wing and try and block him coming down that way without having to get all the way back deep.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I think the change you could have made was you put Barney on, bring Longman over
I agree with that. Yeah,
and that probably is better. I think that's
the
change you could have made. I don't think bringing Doyle in would have made any difference. And to be honest, I don't think what Doyle does isn't. I don't think he's a defensive. I don't think he's like a defensive guru. I think he's really good on the ball for a defender, and I think that's what makes him so special. I think it's what people like about him, is because he is so good on the ball as a defender. And so I don't know that he's even, if that would even have been a good change necessarily when you're looking to go more defensive, if that makes sense.
I think the
Well,
sorry, go
Oh,
on. I was
go
going to say, I think the issue from the outside looking in, I think all the goals you've conceded are similar types of goals. Where I think the one thing I would say is you guys look quite easy to play against and quite easy to get down out wide. The width is clearly the weak point, where teams will get in behind you and then cut balls back, or, you know, for midfield runners, and then you obviously that comes down to your midfielders not tracking those runners.
Yeah.
And it sounds very simplistic, but every goal I've seen you guys concede seems a similar type, if you know what I mean, where that's a concern, because if there's a blueprint out there which you can see goals on, everyone in this league is going to be knowing that and pushing that. So those areas need to be plugged, shall we say, and quickly.
Yep, I agree with that.
The one big issue I had with Parky this match was when he came in to the interview afterwards and said that he left Kiefer Moore on with a potential ankle injury, slight sprain. He said he was okay, and I don't think he did any extra damage by staying on. I'm like, seriously, you're risking our new players again, keeping him on the pitch. I don't care what a player says. If you think they're hurt, you protect them, you get them off the bloody pitch. We're already up 2-0 as well at that stage. Yeah. And that's the one area we do have cover for.
Yeah.
You know, so perfect scenario to take him off. Now, look, he probably wanted his hat trick, you know, getting a little greedy or whatever. But if it turns out now that he's not available this week because of swelling afterwards, you know what I mean? That's not on. Like it's just it's dangerous.
He's too experienced to allow that. I mean, I'll be honest, that's a shocking decision. Let's put it right. You know, that's a sort of decision you would expect a rookie manager to make, not an experienced guy like Parkinson. You know, like you said, if he's picked up an injury and he's missing for a game or two, what damage does that do? So,
yeah, that'd be all right. I agree with that. Get him off. Be safe. Especially as important as he's going to be this season, I think. Yeah, you have to play safe there.
Yeah, it seems to be we just play so much better when he's on. He's been in great form so far, and our team just seems to work with him in it so far. So look, he's not one you want to go down.
No.
So be it. Yep. But otherwise, signs generally good. Get everybody back fit and healthy. We've been doing okay. So just to end on a nice little note there, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, first point of the championship.
Yes.
Oh, hey.
It's an improvement. It's an improvement. One point behind Ipswich. We're all right.
So that just leaves us one match. That leaves us Birmingham.
Never heard of them.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Well, I'm going to say a few people I think were surprised about the scoreline. I think a lot of people suspected us to go and absolutely thrash Oxford, which I knew was never on the cards.
Yeah, John, 1-0. What are you doing? Not good enough.
Well, to be fair, we missed. Well, I say we missed. Kyogo missed 2 absolute sitters. I won't lie, but they were horrendous misses. And that should have been made. But Rowett's teams are never easy to beat. You know, that's what he does in this level. He makes his teams difficult to beat. And I have to say, I was impressed with Oxford, having seen them in the flesh. They were extremely well organised. They kept the ball when they had the chance. They didn't just lump it forward, or, you know, they actually did try and play a bit of football while they can, because they knew they couldn't just sort of sit back on their own goal line. But yeah, I mean, yes, it should have been a lot more comfortable. We should have probably won the game 2-3-0. There was no doubt we deserved to win it clearly. But yeah, just a solid performance, and it was nice to see quite a few of our players getting fitter. I think the standout for me in the game was Damari Gray. He's getting fitter every game, and I'll be honest, he's too good for this league. He is still the Premier League player he was a couple of seasons ago. They could not deal with him. His speed, his pace, his trickery with the ball. He's going to cause teams a lot of problems this season. We were all a bit worried with him coming back, whether he was still the player he was, and could he still do. He certainly can. He's just getting better every game. Oxford, I think, ended up sort of triple marking him just because they couldn't deal with him. I won't lie. The downside out of that game is the Kyogo misses. I think he's struggling to score goals in the sense of I think he needs a goal or two just to come off for him so he gets up and running, snatching at a few chances. So, but we have a League Cup game on Tuesday night against Port Vale. I see there's a Port Vale fan in the chat. I wouldn't be surprised to see Kyogo start that game with the proviso that maybe he's going to get a chance or two to grab a goal. So, but no, all in all, it was a good performance, another good win. And now on to Friday. Well, next league game's Friday night, and that's going to be a toughie.
Yeah, I don't really expect you guys to blow anybody. I mean, even in League One, you weren't blowing teams away. It was 2-0. You know what I mean? 2-1 type games that you're never really. It wasn't like you're beating teams 5-0 every weekend. So.
No, I mean, I'll be honest. It's like you guys do it. I do it. You watch your team play, and you always fear the worst, don't you? You're 1-0 up, and you always think, we're going to concede here, or we're sitting too deep, or we're doing all this. And I was chatting to an Oxford fan on the way out of the ground. We was coming out and we were chatting away, and he turned around and said that's the most one-sided 1-0 game I think I've ever seen. And I said, yeah, but you had a chance. They did have a chance right at the end, and that. And he said, he said if we had got a point out of that, he said it would have been daylight robbery. He said, he said you should have been 4-0 up by half time. And I was like, yeah.
Did want to say we do have a Port Vale fan in the chat. Thanks for popping in. You had to let us know how Mo Fowle's getting on.
Let's see him score against Birmingham now in the cup match.
Oh, they got a cup match against Birmingham? I didn't know that. Ooh.
Tuesday night, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. We will make 11 changes. I'm pretty sure of it. Yeah. No, because Leicester don't play. They're already out, aren't they? So they don't play midweek, and we play Leicester Friday night. So there is no chance we are risking any of our first team players whatsoever. Like I said, Kyogo, I think, will probably start because I don't think he'll start against Leicester.
What do you think, Patty? What do you think Parky will do for Tuesday? You think a bunch of changes again?
I don't think he has options. Well, I suppose he does have options to bring young guys on and whatever. Yeah, he does. Yeah, I suppose in one way he shouldn't be risking the players he has.
Mm-hmm. With the injuries we already got.
Yeah.
Another chance to get those guys minutes too.
I think so. Yeah, actually, I do. I think it's going to be a heavy rotation.
Yeah.
Because the guys are already tired as it is. We've been talking about it the whole evening on the match. Yeah. So, yeah, you're not going to give him another midweek match and then get him to play next Saturday as well. So he's going to have to rest as many of them as possible.
Yeah, I would assume we probably get our first look at Doyle. Probably
Ollie Palmer.
I don't know. You think we'll get Ollie one more time?
Ollie'll get a shot again after his heroics in the last one.
Might think he gets a start, or do you think he starts Smith and?
I think he starts Smith.
Hardy again.
Yeah. Hardy because he hasn't got the minutes.
Yeah.
He'll get a bit of time. Unless they know that like Moore isn't playing the weekend, if there's some injury there or whatever.
Right.
Otherwise, if Smith's going to be on the bench or Hardy's going to be on the bench again, for next weekend, then yeah, he should play.
Do you still think Palmer will be there by Tuesday?
Oh, sure, shit. He has to be listed, doesn't he?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. That's next week. That's the following.
Oh yeah, of course.
following
Sorry. Yeah,
weekend.
no, he'll still be there.
And
I don't think Palmer's going out. I don't think he'll agree. No.
I think you will.
I think he will. Or if he does, it'll be last minute. He's hoping for a miracle. He's hoping for an injury or something that squeaks him into the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah, Bruce makes a good point. He's cup tied anyway. So he couldn't compete. He can't. Well, I mean, I guess it wouldn't matter anyway. But because if he goes, because obviously the big rumors Wimbledon. Are they still in the Carabao Cup? Are they out already? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I know they won on the weekend. That was about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll probably see. He'll be on the bench, I imagine. So, although I kind of like that last game being the final look at Ollie. That's the way to go out. Score 2 goals, score in the penalty shootout. Yeah.
Well, he needs to get his ass in gear and go on loan then. Because if he's still here, he'll play.
Yeah, I imagine he will. So yeah, we'll probably see him. What we think midfield, probably Lee, Ashfield, and I guess Evans probably. He's still here. I think that's the group we got last time. That's probably about right.
Yeah, it should be very similar to last time, I would expect.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
Probably Mindy on the left and Barney, I guess, on the right since he didn't play on the weekend.
Yeah.
Probably Barney on the right. And then back 3 is probably Doyle, and then you'd assume Scar and O'Connell. So
O'Connell.
Yeah. We'll see.
Are you
Something
guys
like
hoping for a valiant defeat in this competition, or do you want to carry on in it?
I want to carry on.
I don't care either way.
I want the Hollywood shot at the Prem team just for fun.
Yeah,
just for the hell of it, just for an away match. A nice big London ground, maybe Arsenal. Be nice. Arsenal, Chelsea, West Ham. Maybe we can beat them.
Yeah.
You got a shot against West Ham, to be fair. I think everyone has at the moment.
Let's see. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Does Palmer play if the plan on loaning him out? I mean, yeah. I think so. I mean, they play him. I think they've always planned on sending him out, whether it's a loan or permanent, and they played him in the last one. So
it's like everything. It depends how close it is. If it's just about getting over the line, then he won't play. If there's still a couple of days in it and they're not really ready yet, then yeah, he'll play. But I don't think it's the club. I think the club are very happy to get rid. So it's all about himself. And if he hasn't agreed yet, then I don't think he's going to agree till the last day.
It's a bit mad, that really, isn't it? Because I mean, he can't be. He can't be under the illusions that he's going to get back into the first team. Because I mean, considering the options you've got, you think, well, surely you'd realise that it's time to move on, wouldn't you, and play some football. I mean, just simply sort of refusing to sort of leave in a matter of sense, you sort of cutting your nose off to spite your face, aren't you? Because it's just like, well, you're not going to play football, and you once the window passes, you'll stop not playing football till January then. Doesn't make sense to me.
Well, he's got a Wrexham clothing brand. He's focusing on his business.
Well,
yeah.
That shouldn't impact his footballing career, though, should it?
In theory, it shouldn't. Yes, I know. Yeah. No, he has said numerous times he wants to retire with us. He wants to stay with us forever. I honestly think he is holding out for a miracle. And I bet you he was praying that Kiefer Moore had broken his ankle or something when he had that bad kick last week in the other match. So, did you see him on Welcome to Wrexham when it looked like Jay was hurt?
Mm-hmm.
And he was there. Look, son, Jay might be injured. Daddy might get a game. I'm like, okay.
I mean, the stupid thing is, though, I mean, that just goes to show about some footballers, doesn't it? But I mean, say, for example, Kiefer Moore did break his ankle. The truth of the matter is they wouldn't go, oh, damn, okay, Ollie, you're up. You would have just gone and signed a replacement or got a loan or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he just baffles me a little bit. You just think, oh, surely at your age, you'd want to go and get as much football as you possibly could before you hang up your boots.
Yeah. I agree. Well, got anything else, Patty?
I think that's it for this week, guys. Unless there's any big infos that popped up I didn't see. But yeah, I think it's pretty standard this week in the championship. Let's have a quick look at the table and just have a look through it again.
Yeah, let's have a look at the table.
Okay. Is everybody seeing it? No, you're not. Because it's the wrong tab. 1 second. Stop that screen.
Stoke fans get the screenshots ready.
Share the screen. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Stoke in first. Middlesbrough second. And both on 9 points. 3 wins out of 3. Then we have Coventry City, West Bromwich Albion, Birmingham City, and Preston North End on 7. 2 wins and a draw. Then we have 2 wins and a loss. Leicester City and Millwall on 6. On 5 on their own is Bristol City. Then we have Southampton, Portsmouth, Watford, Swansea City, Charlton Athletic. Charlton's nicely up there. Hull City, Blackburn Rovers, Norwich City, Ipswich Town, Wrexham, Derby County, Sheffield Wednesday is out of the relegation zone. Queen's Park Rangers, Oxford United, and Sheffield United. So obviously the big thing straight off there on the bottom, Oxford United and Sheffield United, 0 points out of 3 matches. That's nuts. That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah. I don't think Oxford United is as surprising as Sheffield.
No, that's not a surprise.
Yeah. Sheffield with 0 points. That's
I'd also say
insane.
Ipswich down in 18th is a bit of a shock.
Yeah, pretty wild. Pretty wild.
So yeah, one point.
I think the biggest thing I think that needs pointed out is, as of right now, absolutely 0 parachute teams in the top 6. Not one.
That's a good call. Yeah, Leicester in 7th, Southampton in 10th, and then Ipswich down in 18th.
And then Sheffield United is the other one that's getting a parachute. They're getting the second year parachute.
Yeah. Right down the bottom.
Yeah, and they're dead last. Wild. Absolutely wild. So anyway, John, I know we talked about this in the chat. I mean, you guys drop a couple more positions, you're probably firing your manager, right? They end up out of the playoff race?
No, we both know whose manager is more at risk right now, and it certainly isn't ours.
No, we're fine. We're 1 point. We're 1 point behind Ipswich. We're right where we wanted to be. But you guys, I mean, I know how you guys are. As soon as you drop out of the top 6, he's gone out of here. Tom Brady won't stand for it.
Remind me who you've got next.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, Marcus here is saying he thinks Coventry wins the league this year. I've heard a few people call Coventry for this season.
Who was didn't not time out? We called him crazy. Didn't Josh pick Coventry to win the league this year?
I was going to say, is that Josh on his burner
That
account?
son of a bitch.
It is
Yeah,
Josh, but he's not the only one. So
Yeah,
it's
I
not
know.
as ridiculous
I've
as it
heard
sounded.
others that. Yeah, I have heard others that said they thought they'd be good, but yeah, Josh was. We gave Josh a lot of hell over that, and right now he's looking like he may be the only one who knows anything.
I'm still giving him hell about it. As good as they are, they're not winning the league.
Oh, fair enough.
Well, if they keep banging in goals the way they are. But let's see what happens next week once the transfer window closes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get another peek. We'll take a peek back in we get to about week 10, or after week 10, and then we'll have things will start to settle out then. We'll see where everybody's at. But we'll see. I mean, definitely some surprises. I definitely would have thought Stoke would be anywhere near it. Preston North End, wouldn't have thought they'd be anywhere near it. But the others are, not too surprising that are up there. Middlesbrough, I thought they'd be fighting for a playoff spot. Coventry, I thought they'd be fighting for a playoff spot. West Brom, I think I had them in my top 6, or either in my top 6 or just outside of it. And then Birmingham, I think we all had Birmingham. I think I had him the lowest. I think I had you guys 5th. I think everybody else had you guys further up. So, yeah, I mean, I think that it's really not too surprising the other teams that are out there, but up there. But yeah, we'll be all right. My computer's acting up on me. But, yep. Lights. All sorts of problems going on. Here we go. Oh, hold on.
I just noticed there's an interesting fixture coming up in there, isn't there? Where you got Stoke versus West Brom. So you got first v 4th next weekend.
Do we? There we go. Technical difficulties.
I'll look at this round 3 team of the week from FotMob. Moore is up front.
Is he? Nice. That's
and
interesting.
On the back line.
Moore.
Those make me laugh, aren't they? Because they've got Hedges in midfield, who's not a midfielder, I don't think. Thomas Asante, who was a striker in midfield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like when they pick these teams of the week and they do it like that, it's like, why don't you just pick like 3 attacking players, 3 midfielders, and 4 defenders or whatever? You know what I mean? I know it's like it gets. I don't know. It does get a little weird.
It's all. I think I'm pretty sure they're auto generated.
Yeah.
And I bet you, if you have 5 different positions linked down on FotMob, then it's probably how high was your score in all of them. You probably have 5 shots to get into the team.
I mean, the ironic thing is it's normally, I would say, Ethan Laird left back. He's not a left back, he's a right back. But actually, ironically, he did play left back against Oxford. So, in this case, they were right. So.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Okay, so there is a question in the chat about Parky's position, but I think we'll leave that for another day because basically it's a little early in the season to be deep diving on that. Even though I did complain about some of the things he did in the match, but that's fair. He's not going to get away from all criticism. But yeah, too early in the season to start deep diving too much on when Parky's in danger. Christmas. Short answer.
Yeah, that's
Christmas.
where I'm at. I think you get to Christmas or December at least.
And we'd want to be right down in relegation.
Yeah. For sure. So that's the thing. Got to remember we are dealing with some injuries. We are dealing with there's
reasons for the results.
There's reasons. A lot of turnover in the squad. A lot of players that are new to the squad that we're trying to get used to playing his style. not that it's super complicated, but you know what I mean, you're still getting used to playing with the players they're playing with. You know what I mean? The squad's got to have time to gel. And the fact that we brought in so many players just makes that process that much longer, I think. So, fingers crossed we get maybe 1 or 2 more in this week. And seal up some of that depth in the midfield, and I think be all right.
Okay, so on that bombshell, Parky's safe. No worries about Parky, and everything will be great in the future. Thanks very much, guys. It has been another great chat, and we will do this all again next week. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.